Do I believe in energy healing? Yes. Do I go to energy healers? No. Well, let's get into it in more detail. Hello everyone, welcome to this space. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about consulting with an energy healer, an intuitive, or a psychic. I want to leave two important notes for you right at the beginning. The first one is that I have consulted with energy healers in the past, and I've actually consulted with various healers and intuitives offering a range of different modalities and tools before. And I've actually also consulted with an energy healer when my dog was still with me, when he was not feeling well and the vet could not help me. So these are primarily my personal experiences and my personal view on this matter. So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And the second important note that I want to leave with you is that I'm focusing this video on you consulting with an energy healer for yourself, not so much for a child or a pet, basically a dependent of yours. Now, I don't consult with energy healers anymore due to a few reasons. Reason number one is karma. I don't want you to think of karma as some kind of punishment. I want you to think of karma in this context as something that belongs to you, something that has your fingerprint basically on it. And the reason that this is the first point is that I've noticed that energy healers, someone outside of you, can actually not clear the karma for you. Basically, you have to see the karma, which is connected to you, and it's part of your energetic field, as something that belongs to you, and that is a lesson for you to see, to understand, and to master. So it's possible that you're experiencing something and it's bothering you. It's not a nice experience. And you go to an intuitive or an energy healer, and they basically remove it from your field and from your experience. And it's possible that they actually sever the ties. However, again, based on my experience, sooner or later, it reappears. The connection recreates because it belongs to you. And it's important that you understand what the message behind it is. Now, when it comes to karma, so to speak, it's also important to look at it from the side, from the point of view and the situation of the healer themselves. Because what happens is that when they overstep a certain energetic boundary, in return, they actually end up creating karma, basically some kind of imbalance for themselves that then they need to resolve as well. Reason number two is basically the unhealed state of the healer. Without an exception, every healer, intuitive or psychic that I consulted was not healed to a certain degree. Now, sometimes it was by a lot and sometimes it was by little. However, especially at the beginning, you don't really have a way of evaluating that and judging the work and the healing, the service you are receiving. And it's problematic because you don't know what has happened now. Was it successful? Did it work out? Do I still need to do any work in that regards or not? Another important reason why it matters where they are, the healer themselves on their healing journey, is because their level of health, their level of energetic health actually corresponds with the realm from where they can get the important information for you, the realm that they can access. So it happened that I experienced at some point that the pieces of the puzzle and the information that I need to continue on my path is located in a realm where the intuitive that I consulted could not really reach. Now, it's possible, depending on the size of the ego of the person, that the intuitive and the healer is aware of this, and they actually openly communicated with you and tell you that what it is that you need, they cannot access at this point, or they don't have a way of accessing it. But if the healer now has a very big ego, consciously or unconsciously, knowingly or unknowingly, it's possible that they don't tell you about this and they actually provide you with false information. Reason number 3 is that at this point, at this phase of the evolution that we're going through as a collective, and the earth is going through it as well, we're not meant to consult and give all the responsibility, our own personal responsibility, to something or someone outside of ourselves. Now, what we have to do is, at this phase, to draw and pull everything back inside of ourselves, from all realms, from all ages, maybe even from all lifetimes. It's important that we bring everything that at some point was on the outside back into ourselves, and we continue this process, and we continue our spiritual development from having everything back with us. Now, here are a few more points to consider. Question number 1, when is it okay to actually consult with a healer? Again, I'm just sharing my personal view on this. So my personal view is that it's okay to consult with an intuitive outside of yourself when your own intuitive capacities and capabilities have grown to a certain extent, and your muscle of discernment has strengthened to a certain extent, so that you can actually evaluate what service you're receiving and the work they are doing for you. The second point I would say is that you can just tune in and you can speak to the healer and just check whether they're aware of certain universal laws and what their work ethics actually is. So before consulting with them, you can actually have a conversation and see, how do they go about this? How do they approach it? And do they have certain limits and boundaries that they don't overstep? Which would be really important if you ask me. And the third scenario is that you have tried to reach a result in something that is affecting you in the now. However, you're kind of stuck. You're stuck. You don't know what the next step is to take. And what you're missing is actually the next piece of the puzzle. So then it's actually great and it's really helpful to consult with someone who can give you that next piece of the puzzle that you need for the next steps that you want to take. The next point I want to mention, maybe you're a healer listening to this, or you're someone who wants to become a healer. It's helpful to look at this healing process, maybe from the lens of you're not healing the person, but you're actually facilitating a healing process. You are assisting a healing journey. You are providing puzzle pieces and empowering the client to do the healing themselves. And maybe you can even incorporate into the services you provide helpful tools that you can teach your client. The next point I want to mention is we are all being tested at all times. So many times I've experienced things through this journey where later I realized it was actually a test by the universe. It was a test, and the tests that we experience that come our way are far more frequent than we know and we're aware of. So you could look at it from the point of view that whether you're a client and you want to consult with a healer, that during this process, you're being tested to see how much you push away your own belief in yourself, your own empowerment, and your own responsibility. And if you are a healer, you could realize that some of the clients that come your way, some of the information that comes your way, that is appearing to you, that is being given to you from another realm, it might actually be a test to see whether or not you overstep a certain boundary and what your innate work ethics are. The last point I want to mention is evolution is constant. Why do I mention that? Because it also applies to healing tools, healing modalities, and healing templates that you might be using. So if you are a healer, it might be good to tune in and to ask your higher self or your guides for basically the newest versions of that healing template and download the latest version of that healing template and let it be harmonious to where we are at this point in this evolution journey. All right, everyone. I hope this helps you on your path of spiritual development.